What up, what up, what up, internet? Who you are, where you be, where you at, what you see. This is Pop Cult Parent, the podcast that's the size of Texas, and we don't want to miss a thing. I'm one of your hosts, Mark M.F. Jones, and I am joined by...
This is Niels R.Y., a.k.a. your NASA for crying out loud.
And if you haven't figured it out, we're going to be talking about, we're doing another go back. We've got some good feedback. Y'all like the Home Alone 2 episodes so much. So we're going to do another go back. And because there's been a lot of activity in the sky, a lot of things, flying around in the astrospheres, the spaces, we figured why not do a movie about said spaces, astropheres. I know I'm making those words up, but we're talking about...
I'm glad you do.
We're going to talk about dare I say, legendary movie Armageddon, directed by Michael Bay, that turned 25 years old this year. And Nels, we were talking, and just not a better time to talk about this movie. So let's get into it. You got a little history for us?
Yes, I do, Mark Jones. Well, and look, this might be the first Michael Bay movie we've discussed here on Pop Cult Parent. I might be wrong, but I think this is the first Michael Bay movie we're going to discuss. And
will not be
buckle
the last.
Up, Pop Cult.
It will not be the last.
Buckle up. All right. So a little bit about Armageddon. This movie, like Mark shared, is directed by Michael Bay, produced by Jerry Bruckheimer. Like, you've seen those names. If you're a member of the Pop Cult, you've seen Michael Bay, you've seen Jerry Bruckheimer. You know when they come together, there's a lot of explosions. Anyways, just some more facts, y'all. The screenplay, one of the writers for the screenplay was J.J. Abrams. This movie made $553 million, and it was the highest grossing movie of 1998.
That's
1998 had some heavy hitters, Mark Jones.
That's
the name.
What we talk about?
Saving Private Ryan came out in 1998. Godzilla came out in 1998. There's several more. I'm just giving you a sneak peek. But of course, it beat Deep Impact.
Deep Impact.
The other. Well, it wasn't an asteroid. It was a comet. But the other
asteroid movie.
Giant rock that was flying towards Earth. It beat that one. You might remember Deep Impact. Deep Impact had Morgan Freeman as the president.
Oh, yes.
That's the first time I ever saw a black president in the movie, I believe.
I had a little retconning in my memory because I swore this movie had a black president. But I think I mixed up Morgan Freeman and then Keith David as the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff.
Mark, I had so look, you're not wrong. I had the exact same thought too. I was like, Morgan Freeman was a president. Keith David was the president.
Keep David as the president, much cooler movie.
Significantly cooler. Significantly cooler.
I mean,
you want Keith David as your president. But you know what? If he's not going to be your president, have him be in charge of all the defenses in your country. Why not?
We're the military. We got vision.
Oh, God. Anyways.
Can I just say, for a little history on that, apparently... I don't know if this is true, but I heard somewhere one of the writers, whoever the pitch for this movie.
Oh, bro, I'm about to get into it.
Oh, okay.
Let me tell you more about the story. So there's a story about the making of Armageddon. Mm-hmm. And the theme of the story is Disney is petty as hell.
Hell yes.
I've said it once in pop culture. I've said it many a times. But the theme of the story is Disney is petty as hell. So let me tell you, this is the Niels R.Y. version of the making of Armageddon. There was a production staff member who heard the story of Deep Impact from one of the writers of Deep Impact. They told the head folks at Disney, and Disney was like, bet. They're going to add Bruce Willis and an all-star cast, including Billy Bob Thornton, Ben Affleck, Chief MF and David, and had Michael Bay and Jerry Bruckheimer with J.J. Abrams come with the screenplay and had Aerosmith do the soundtrack, and they made a movie in 16 weeks. They got 16 weeks to make Armageddon, bruh. Yeah, I don't. You know more about movie making than I do. Can you make a blockbuster movie, a summer movie in 16 weeks?
Yo, you're blowing my mind. I had no idea this movie was made in 16 weeks.
16 weeks.
What the? It. I feel like it takes longer to get your driver's license. Like, what in 16 weeks?
16 weeks.
And
Disney is petty as hell.
You know what else blows my mind that you're saying that? Because I heard that the shuttle launch in this movie is real footage that they filmed, and NASA has like this no one could go near a shuttle the first 48 hours, so they set up 14 cameras like 2 days before. But I'm like, yo, so you not only in 16 weeks you made a movie, but you filmed a shuttle launch? Like, only Disney, dog. Only Disney with Michael Bay.
Disney and Michael Bay. Yeah. Add those two things together. And you know, like a lot of the NASA footage, like them opening that giant hangar door and the training in the tank, that was actually NASA. Like they were really at NASA doing those filming.
I heard something like the Bruce Willis and Ben Affleck were the first civilians that were ever in that
I heard
zero oxygen vault or whatever it is.
Yep, I heard the same
nuts.
thing.
That's nuts.
Disney is petty as hell. They heard a story and were like, you know what? We could do better. We could do better.
The guy who opens up the NASA building was like there at like 3 a.m. opening up, and like Disney drove by with a car, threw money at him, like Michael Bay will be here in 2 hours, and they just left.
And he's like, Michael Bay? Huh?
Michael Bay?
Money? What's going on? All you see is Mickey Mouse smiling at you in the back of the car.
They came back and they're like, Keith David needs a uniform. And they just drove away.
The guy's like, Keith David? What's his size? What do I do? What uniform? So anyways, that's the story of the making of Armageddon. You wanna jump into this amazing film?
I'll just say that, you know what's funny? Like, I remember this movie getting big buzz, dude. Big buzz. I remember, like, low-key, I was scared to watch this movie because, 1998, we were getting close to the year 2000. People talking about, Y2K, the end of the world. I'm like, well, I'm not gonna go see a movie called Armageddon. But you know what did it in for me on this movie that really like scared me, because I didn't see this movie till I think it came out on DVD or VHS, one of the two.
It was a blockbuster night when I saw this.
Yeah.
I also didn't see it in theater. Yeah,
but what scared me was the trailer. They're like, man, the Earth 65 million years ago, it can happen again. And then I remember like the trailer opening up to New York. And New York blowing up, but then the Chrysler building falling down. But seeing the people in that shot, you see the people falling down when the Chrysler.
Yeah.
And I just remember, that like not ruining me. I was like, no. Like, I don't want to see this movie.
It's really funny that you say that, because I don't remember watching a trailer for Armageddon. Well, that's actually not true. It's not that I didn't watch a trailer. I did watch a trailer. It just so happened that trailer was called I Don't Want to Miss a Thing by Aerosmith. Because I saw that music video many a times. I think, was the box out then? Was that when the box was out, 98?
Man, I don't know. I just know that song was everywhere. I guarantee you, spring 1999, Fort Worth, Texas. There was a wedding with someone named Kelly and Bradley, and that was their first dance song. I'm telling you, dog. It was like, they're like, all right, let's go. Kelly and Bradley Johnson. And I don't want to miss a thing. Like, I love you, Bradley. I'm telling you, that song was everywhere.
Pop Cult, if you were at the wedding, please email us, popcultparent@gmail.com. I gotta know. I gotta know if Mark Jones was right. I gotta know.
I bet all the money in my pocket that there was at least, pick a city, there was at least 50 weddings where that was the first dance song.
Yeah, I mean, look, I gotta say, I haven't been to any wedding where Aerosmith will be playing. But if I was to go to a wedding where Aerosmith, there is a capability of Aerosmith being played, I'm almost positive that scenario that you named would happen. Can we talk about Aerosmith for a second, Mark?
Well, can I just say I know what you're talking about, but you won't say it. You're just like, what wedding where Aerosmith would be playing.
Yeah, I've never been to a wedding.
I've never been to a wedding where Aerosmith would be playing.
Can we talk about Aerosmith?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, all right. So tell me if I'm wrong, right? Okay. Aerosmith is one of the greatest rock bands of all time. Arguably one of the greatest, could be the top American rock band of all time, depending on who you ask.
So I'll say this to you. I say on like just like a cultural perspective, commercial, yes. I think there's a lot of like rock fans out there that are gonna really disagree with you.
Okay, hey, look, this is not the hill I'm going to die on. But I'm assuming commercially Aerosmith is like one of the top bands out there. They've made Dream On, Rock This Way, Sweet Emotion, Crazy. Like they've made a lot of well-known songs. And this may be their best song. The song that they did to a Michael Bay summer blockbuster may be the best song they've ever made.
Dog, do you remember the music video? It was just them singing to clips of the movie. That was it. They were like, all right, you guys sing, and then we'll add in clips of the movie, and we'll get out of here before 4:00. And they're like, all right, cool, man.
And well, there was one edit. Liv Tyler, instead of stroking the TV screen that had Bruce Willis, had her actual father,
her actual dad,
on the TV screen. Yes.
Can we talk about Liv Tyler?
Yes,
like,
man.
I think she's fine, man. I don't have nothing against Liv Tyler, but do you remember, like, we were really trying to make that something? Like, Hollywood was really trying to make that happen. Like, the Liv Tyler experience.
Yes. And there's a reason, besides nepotism, of course. So, you all may remember that Aerosmith, came and went. There was one album, if you're in our generation, that you can kind of remember, like, Aerosmith being a big deal. And there was 2 music videos that came out. One was Crazy, and the other one was Crying.
Crazy, oh my God.
Yes. Crazy. Yes, that one. They both featured a 16-year-old Alicia Silverstone. And I think Crazy was the music video that had Liv Tyler on it. And that was supposedly a big deal because it's like, yo, why are you having your 16-year-old daughter featured in this music video with a scene where she is stripping?
Bro,
she is stripping in the music video.
Yeah, that the 90s was a wild time.
Was a wild time, bro.
It was a wild, reckless time. That's all I'm gonna say about that.
And then there was this movie. There's a whole bunch of other movies, but you know what? She did do a good job. Well, as good of a job as someone in a 1 minute of a movie. She did do a good job in what was it? Lord of the Rings?
Lord of the Rings?
Was she in Lord of the Rings?
Yeah, she was wasn't she the guy? Oh, not guys, but Aragorn, wasn't that it? They were in love,
lady,
or something?
Right?
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure that's the case.
But like you said, she's in the movie for like 5 minutes tops, and that's like all 3 of them.
All 3 of them. Yeah,
she's like in there for 5 minutes.
And I think that was the end of the Liv Tyler experience. I think Holly was like, "Look, we're done. We did our part. I don't know what
this is on you, America. You should have did something."
I don't know what deal with the devil Aerosmith made, but we did our part. We are done. Yes, that was a thing. Man. Anyways, I gotta say, for this to be arguably their best song, it just further tells me, like, one, Disney is petty as hell. Cause like I don't know what came first, Aerosmith doing the soundtrack or them casting Liv Tyler. But like, I feel like one happened and then the other thing was next. And it was because Disney was like, nah, man. I mean, this is going to be bigger than Deep Impact.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like, and they're 2 very different movies. Like,
very different movies.
Deep Impact is trying to be this, like, provoking Oscar bait, like, the fall of mankind. What will we do at the last hour? And Armageddon is like, we're gonna get the band back together and go into space. Whoa, America! We're gonna get some red hot blooded potato steak eating Americans because the government can't trust the government. Like
gonna get a ragtag group of oil drillers and send them to space. You know why? Because America. That's why. That's what Michael Bay did. Look, y'all, I'll tell you the secret of Michael Bay. Michael Bay will be like, all right, so what do you want to happen in this movie? Where there's going to be, I don't know, there's going to be like a terrorist attack and it's going to happen in Alcatraz. And he's like, guess what? Give me Sean Connery, give me Nicolas Cage, and we're going to get it done. You know why? America. That's what happened.
That's what happened. America. Like, Michael, can I talk to you a second? Yeah. So on page 6, when we really get to like the juice of the script, just says America and like bold letters for like 3 more pages. He's like, yeah. What's the problem? What's the issue?
So what happens here? America. That's
America
what
happened.
We're gonna have explosions. We're gonna have cigars. We're gonna have half naked women. We're gonna have Steve Buscemi. America.
I think Deep Impact went for accuracy and Armageddon went for entertainment. And I think, this Armageddon is why people go to movies for entertainment, man. Because Armageddon won, man. Like, we don't care about accuracy. Save that for school. I don't even know accuracy, science. Get that science out of my movie.
Well, we ain't here for this.
Get that logic. You get that logic out of here.
Dog, Michael Bay made us believe that Billy Bob Thornton runs NASA.
Oh my God.
Billy Bob Thornton, Mark.
Not
no
only
one
that.
questioned it. The entire movie. No one questioned that Billy Bob Thornton runs NASA. Why did they cast Billy Bob Thornton to run NASA, man?
Yeah, it's me. I'm running NASA. Oh man. Dang. Get him in here. Get him in here. This is NASA.
You know why? America. That's why.
And
my goodness.
And Steve Buscemi is apparently a genius. And okay, I guess he's a genius.
Why not?
Why not?
But he decides to be an oil driller. He went to MIT. He rubs shoulders with the astronaut folks.
He lists all his accolades. He's like, yeah, I was published when I was like 15. I got my PhD at 19. He's like, I won like some prestigious science mind award. He's like, why do I do it? Because I get to blow up America. Like
America. Oh, and Owen Wilson's in this movie.
Oh my God. I forgot Owen Wilson was in this movie, man.
He's in this movie, man.
Oh wow. Harry. Oh wow.
Owen Wilson is cutting it up with Ben Affleck. Yo. Like, this movie had no business having these stars in this movie, man.
Oh wow. When they're talking about Star Wars, and I'm Han Solo. Wow. I'm like, yo, Owen Wilson is in this movie. I completely forgot. This man is like
completely forgot.
But you know what's funny? I think this, like Bruce Willis, for real, man was already a movie star. But this was like, you remember, like Bruce Willis was having a run. You know what I'm saying? Man. Bruce Willis was having a silly run, and this movie was part of that run. And I
think Fifth Element came out like 2 years before this, I think.
Yeah. He was having a good little run. And I feel like this movie is what made Ben Affleck a movie star.
Oh, absolutely.
Now, he was in movies before this, but this
he won the Oscar the year before this, I think.
Yeah. But this made him a movie star.
This made him a movie star. Yeah, absolutely.
Michael Bay.
Absolutely. I think he was in Pearl Harbor. Wasn't Ben Affleck in Pearl Harbor?
Yes.
So he signed up to be with Michael Bay again.
After
this.
I mean, yo, can you blame the dude? Your little like
that sweet money.
Your the Dirty Dozen Goes to Space movie
was the biggest movie in '98.
$500 million. Yeah. What do you want to make, Michael? A movie about Pearl? You want to make a 4-hour movie about Pearl Harbor? Why not? When do I need to be in Hawaii? Sure.
Sign me up. I've been thinking a lot about Michael Bay. I have some hot takes. I could be wrong, Mark. I have some hot takes.
And I'm glad because okay. Let me just say, Michael Bay is a big factor in my taste and what I expect from movies, I understand the criticism of the man. But I'll let you get into it. But I'm just going to say, I think kinetically, like when it comes to movement and framing, I think the man is a genius. He doesn't need to be near a script ever.
Nor is he. Hey, he don't need.
Yeah.
He don't care about the script.
He don't care about the script.
He ain't make movies for scripts. He ain't sign up for that.
For me, Michael Bay is the Tyler, the creator of film. I feel like he should be taken a lot more seriously than he is, but it's his own fault why he's not.
Okay, so here's my hot take. Michael Bay helped me understand CoComelon's effect on my kids. So like when I watch this movie, you know when you're about to watch a Michael Bay movie, there's just a sense of nostalgia and joy because you're about to see the unnatural happen. And so I'm just sitting there and happy. And what I noticed was it was constant movement.
Yes.
Constant
movement. The camera never stops moving. Never.
Constant movement. I'm engaged all the time. Just from there are astronauts talking about space and I'm in it.
Yep.
And there's like zooming in, zooming out, cameras going this side, that side, the little constant Michael Bay rotating.
Yes.
And I'm like, that's exactly what CoComelon does. CoComelon, the camera never stops. They are constantly moving.
They're constantly
and that's why my
cutting.
kids are invested.
Constantly cutting. And it's actually not good. It was hard, but I've stopped the CoComelon train in this house because you're right. You watch CoComelon, it's like every 2 seconds, cut. They cut to a different frame, And Michael Bay does the same thing.
Michael Bay does the same thing, bro.
You know, I heard a film critic one time. I think it was Film Brain. I can't remember, but he was like, Michael Bay movies are like junk food. They're great when you want to have it and you're enjoying it. If you eat too much of it, you'll get sick. And Correct. It's like, I couldn't imagine having to watch like all of Michael Bay's movies like after another. I feel like I'd be like mentally drained. And you remember that Boondocks when Huey had to watch BET nonstop? He's just like, yeah, whatever. You know, like I feel like that would be me after Michael Bay marathon. And but like in its sparingly every now and then, I can't get like I love this man's movies. I get all the criticism. I get it. But I feel like at this point, if you go into a Michael Bay movie not knowing what you're gonna get, you're the idiot.
Ooh, yeah. Hey.
like
hey, you ain't wrong, man. You know what this is.
You know what this is. Like, come on.
You saw his name on the poster. You know what you were walking into. I don't care what the trailer said the movie was about. It's a Michael Bay movie. There's gonna be explosions, and there's gonna be a lot of cutting, and there's gonna be no plot whatsoever. None whatsoever. Dog. So this is what I'll say. I wish, Mark, I could remember what it was like in 1998 for folks to sit in the movie theater and watch this. Because they didn't really know Michael Bay like this. This was like his third big movie.
What came? Was this before Bad Boys?
Bad Boys.
Okay.
The Rock. And then this.
But then even those movies, it's like tame. Those are like your standard, like this happens, you meet the villain, end of movie, like standard beats. This is like those movies are Michael Bay is Goku before he gets to Namek.
Yes.
And Armageddon.
Yes.
Armageddon is the fight with Frieza. Like
Armageddon is when the studio is like, we'll give you this much money and we're giving you 16 weeks. Do with that as you will. And he's like, you're giving me more control?
Dog, this movie is the Frieza saga. Power levels mean nothing anymore. It means
completely irrelevant. Fighting styles, who cares?
They don't even say, at this point, they don't even say Michael Bay like make a movie. They're just like create, make something and give it back to us. You can do whatever you want, but you got 16 weeks to do it.
I can't imagine what was going through that man's head. He saw the elements of a story he saw the budget and he saw the actors and was like, "Watch me work."
But
can't wait. He probably had a big erection mark. he was very excited for this, man. He's like, my dreams are about to come true. I am unleashing the world on who I am.
There's that Family Guy bit where they're playing like strip poker in the Justice League, and they're like, "All right, Wonder Woman, take it off," and they're all like, "Yeah, yeah." And Peter's like, "No, hey, Robin, no, look at her, don't look at me." And I feel like that's Michael Bay, but there's an explosion. There's like a beautiful woman dancing, but then there's an explosion going on right next to her. And they're like, "Hey, Michael, no, look at her, Michael." And he's like,
yeah. Explosion. All right, man, let's talk about this movie, man.
Oh my goodness, let's get into this movie. All right, so
are we gonna? Okay, go ahead.
No. What's up, man?
I was gonna try to attempt to like explain the plot and like go through it, but
no, go ahead.
Go ahead. I turn it to you, brother.
I was just gonna get into it. Oh, okay.
Yes,
so the plot of this movie is there is an asteroid headed to Earth.
The size of Texas.
It is the size of Texas. It's what we call a global killer, Mr. President. Nothing will survive, not even bacteria. And then, I love it. The president's like, "My God." He actually like says it in the movie. He actually says, "My God." But basically, there's an asteroid headed to Earth, and NASA sees it, and they're like, "We got to find a way to get rid of this asteroid." And the only way to do it is to drill into the asteroid, drop a nuke, detonate it, and the two pieces will miss Earth. That's essentially right. That's the plot of the movie, right?
That's the plot of the movie.
And you can't send Nels. You can't teach astronauts how to drill into an asteroid. No, you need oil driller. You need the best oil drillers America has to offer, and you give them 18 days to get into space.
Okay, and so when we meet the team, who is led by Bruce Willis with hair, he sees that Ben Affleck, like it seems like Ben Affleck is like a Wonderlick, like a savant when it comes to drilling.
Yeah. He's like the drill. He's like He's like the young up and
drilling
coming
prodigy.
The prodigy driller.
Like he's gonna eventually be the Michael Jordan of drilling. Who knows? Sure, fine. I'll accept it. I'm okay with it. Sure. He notices that there is lingerie or panties there.
Yeah, it's a bra. It's a bra.
It's a bra. Okay.
He knows.
And there's only one woman. Look. There was only one woman there. So like, it's clearly his daughter.
Yeah.
And his reaction is to get a shotgun on an oil drill station.
On an oil rig.
And shoots multiple shotgun shells throughout. And these folks are going to save us. Mark. We're going to fly them to space and save us.
I just love it. Like, I'm like, come on. Like, that can't be safe. Like, it just can't be safe. I don't know. I've never been on an oil rig. I don't know nothing about an oil rig. I don't think I would. I wouldn't light a candle on an oil rig, let alone shoot a shotgun. But this is a very, and this is Michael Bay. This is a very interesting, and I'll give J.J. Abrams credit. This is a very interesting way to meet the squad, right?
Yes.
He's like, because he basically runs through everyone. He's Michael Clark Duncan. He's like, "Get out of here, Bear. You don't want none of this." By the way, I don't know, man. I was a little triggered. Bruce Willis' shotgun in the face of Michael Clark Duncan.
He felt way too comfortable putting that shotgun in his face.
"Get out the way, Bear." He's like, but to be fair, I don't think a shotgun to the face of Michael Clark Duncan would have done anything.
It's gonna take more than that. It's gonna take more than that, boss.
Yeah, take more than that. You're gonna hit that Debo. What you gonna do with that? Besides making me mad.
Gonna take more of that, boss. You're gonna sit in the corner, start crying. Sparks come out of nowhere. People who had cancer all their lives just magically goes away.
Mr. Jangles.
Why did we do all this? We should have just said Michael Clark Duncan by himself.
Him and Mr. Jangles in space.
Yes.
Hold on, Mr. Jangles. We're gonna blow this asteroid.
He's just rocking in the spaceship, slowly weeping. Next thing you know, the asteroid just turns into a bunch of butterflies and sparks.
Billy Bob Thornton's telling, he's like, "Come on, John Cornbread, blow up hit the nuke."
We don't need a nuke up here, boss.
That nuke can't hurt nobody, boss. And I can't blow it up. For some reason, Billy the Kid's on the spaceship. Woo! Woo! Okay. And then the best part, they gotta give Mr. Jangles a little spacesuit. A little space suit. And he's the one that stays behind and blows it up. You the man, Mr. Jangles. You the man.
I love you, Mr. Jangles.
It's Liv Tyler touching the screen, but it's Mr. Jangles.
Yes.
So Bruce Willis is chasing Ben Affleck. He's like, you shouldn't have slept with my daughter, and Liv Tyler's like, Harry. She's doing the calling him by his first name. Mm-hmm. Like, you raised me by roughnecks, Harry, and I fell in love with one. So what do you want to do about it? Blah blah blah. And I do. There is a joke here that I thought was really funny, where Liv Tyler's like, the first time when I got my period, Steve Buscemi showed me how to use tampons, and then Bruce Willis looks at Steve Buscemi and he's like, whoa. He's like, I told her how to use it.
That word is important.
He's like, I told her how to use it.
Because you know what? I believe that Steve Buscemi showed her. Yeah. He's a little creepy self.
He's full on creep in this movie, dog.
He's a big creep.
The 90s, there's a bunch of like potential underage jokes in this movie. With Steve Buscemi in the 90s, we're like, comedy. Funny.
Yes. Statutory rape. Yes.
Throwing it every which way. We were giving it out like it was going out of style in the 90s, man.
His most said line was, "How old are you again?" He literally says that multiple times in this movie.
Yes.
Have mercy.
So Bruce Willis, we meet the gang, and AJ, Ben Affleck's character, he's like, Harry, don't shoot me. And the military, they discovered that this asteroid's coming. And so they're like, find me the best driller. They decided that they needed to drill in the asteroid because Keith David comes. He's like, well, what do we just throw a bunch of nukes at this son of a bitch? And, the smart guys are like, that's stupid. You can't do it. You have to drill into this asteroid. And so they're like, well, get Bruce Willis. He's the best driller in the country. So they go get Bruce Willis. They take him to NASA. And Billy Bob Thornton tells Bruce Willis what's going on. So then Bruce Willis is like, he's like, we've been training these astronauts. They've been training for 8 months. He's like, that's it? 8 months? Nah, I need the best.
Hold up. Even before that, Mark, what I appreciate, one of the most realistic parts of this movie is when Billy Bob Thornton tells him the plan. Bruce Willis is like, that's it? That's all you got? Y'all are NASA. That is it? That's your big idea? What's your backup plan? Yes. You ain't got no backup plan? Yes. Bro, I was like, yes. Thank you, Bruce Willis.
You hit it in your AKA. I do love the way he hits that line. He's like, you're the government, the government, United States government, and this is all you got.
You're NASA, for crying out loud.
Yeah, no, yes, I love it. So instead of Bruce Willis training these astronauts who've been training to drill for 8 months, they're already astronauts. And they've been drilling for 8 months. But he's like, no, I need my guys. So we do this, like, get the band back together, hunting down everyone who we just met.
Good old 80s montage in the 90s. Yeah. Like, in the 90s style nice. With Michael Bay. Like, loved it. Loved every second of it.
You're right. This montage of getting everyone back together is really good. But
Mark, something that kind of perturbed me was like, bro, this was 24 hours. Like, they got off the oil rig. It's only been a day.
No, it's less than that, because when Bruce Willis and his daughter, Liv Tyler, get on the helicopter, they get to NASA, and he's like, I'm sorry. He's like, we've been apologized to for the last 18 hours. So tell me what's going on. And I'm like, yo, it's been 18 hours, and these guys are just scattered across America. They're just like,
oh, Bruce is gone. Say less. They're like, how much? I'm getting a G. gone.
They're just like scattered across the country in less than 18 hours, and they were in the middle of the ocean. But it's a nice get the band back together. I particularly love Michael Clark Duncan's like, go get Papa Bear, and the helicopter and all the cops are chasing.
Yo, I don't know what he thought he did, but he did it.
He did it.
He absolutely did it.
Yo. Yes. I don't know if you've ever seen the movie Primary Colors, but there's a part where they're talking to the guy running for president, and she's like, I don't know. Same thing. She's like, you know what? I don't know if you did it or not, but the fact that you thought you did it is guilty enough for me. And that's like Michael Clark. Like,
yes, the way he was running and the joy that he had from running, he knew it was like, yo, they catch me, it's over.
He was ready to go out in flames, dog.
If they catch me, it is over. I did it. Yes. Oh my god! And when they see each other, the joy that they have from seeing each other, I'm like, bro, y'all only been gone for 18 hours.
Yes.
Why y'all acting like y'all been gone for like a month?
They act like they haven't seen each other in 5 years. Like, hey, Harry, 18 hours, baby.
Like, wow. Oh my goodness. So at this point, Bruce tells them.
Yeah, he breaks it down.
Tells them the situation. Owen Wilson like, wow.
Wow. He's like, this is hero stuff. I'm in, guys. I'm in, you know. And everyone's like, oh my God, well, yeah, we're with you, Harry, we're with you, Bruce Willis. But I really appreciate Steve Buscemi stressing like, let's get hazard pay. And I really love these, like, when they have the list of demands. I'm like, yeah, you never see that in these movies. You never see like, you know, okay, if we succeed, this is the list of demands. And I love it. I was like, this is a good scene. Owen Wilson has like 56 parking tickets.
Yes. It's a very acceptable list. Can we be honest? Like, oh yeah, very commendable. I would have asked for a lot more and a lot different stuff.
Oh, I would have asked. They were like, oh, and we don't want to pay taxes, bruh. I'm saving the world. I want $1 trillion.
I want a country.
I want yeah.
I want a country.
I want a country. I don't even care what country. I want a country. You figure it out. You figure out what country, but I want it.
Yes, yes. I'll let you figure out the all the ramifications of it. But this country will be mine. Yes,
I want $1 trillion on tax. I want a robot. I want a flying car. Make it happen. You know what I'm saying? I'm like going off the wall. I want a dog that talks. Make it happen. Like I'm asking for the most outlandish stuff.
Underdog. Just give me underdog.
Yeah, give me underdog.
Make underdog, and I want him to be my friend. Yes.
I want Jurassic Park to be a real thing when I get back.
I want to visit Narnia. Make it so.
So then they
hold on. I got one more. I want Patrick Stewart just around. I want him to be my best friend. I don't know what you need to say to him, but Patrick Stewart needs to appreciate me, and we need to go on road trips and have fun together as best friends. Yes,
we're just chilling.
I'm done.
He's just chilling. He's like, is this all I'm supposed to do, Nels?
Yes, sir, Patrick Stewart.
Yeah. Oh,
let's play video games.
Oh my. Well, please hand the controller then. You know,
make it so.
But you know, so they start another montage. We get into another montage, the training montage. And man, Nels, I love it. I love it because Michael Bay does this a lot in movies where it's like, what are you, from the government? You government scientist? Hey, you idiot from the government, get out of here. Let the red-blooded steak and potato eating Americans handle this. They just go into NASA and they're like, this is the armadillo. This is what's gonna help you drill the asteroid. And they just get into this machine. They're like, this is stupid. Take this out. I'm like, yo, the best engineers on the planet built this thing. And they're just like, no, take this out. I'm like, yo, this has to work in space. This isn't your Chevy in the back of your backyard.
They took all that stuff out. And as soon as the drillers walked away, the astronauts just kindly put it all back in. They're like, well, this is life support. This is gonna work against gravity. Like, these are very intricate pieces to the armadillo. They just kindly put it all back in. Act like none of this happened.
It won't turn on unless this is in there. So I'm gonna put this back in.
I'm just gonna put this back in here. It'll be fine. They'll appreciate it.
But they're training. They do psychological tests. They do physical tests. I do like they're in this like soundproof room, and they're with a doctor, and they're all doing like ink block tests and psychological tests. And Ben Affleck's like, "This is Harry, not approving of me. This is Harry thinking I'm not good enough for his daughter. Thanks a lot for that one." Like, I don't know. I thought this was really funny. Like, I don't know what you thought, but I did think the montage getting ready for space was really funny.
Mark, I loved it. I loved it. Because it was they got a chance to act, and it was funny, and it was still very Michael Bay.
It was super Michael.
Still Bay. Very Michael Bay.
Super.
Michael Bay. One thing I appreciate him. He's like, you're like the same thing he did with Bad Boy. He's like, okay, here's 3 lines, but I'm just gonna turn the cameras on. You all figure out what you want to do. You have 10 minutes to show them who you are as a character in this particular scene. Go for it. And he did that for all of them in this montage, like training scene. There's just like, all right, Ben Affleck, you're an annoyed youngster who thinks he knows everything. Go enjoy yourself.
Do it.
He did that. Owen Wilson, he did that. I'm sure Owen Wilson, none of those lines were in the script. He was just like, go crazy, Owen.
He's like, oh, Star Wars.
He did it.
Well, JJ was like, hey, mention Star Wars. He's like, yeah, it's like Star Wars. Oh, wow. But, and then so they're getting to the end, and the doctor's like, he's like, this guy's crazy. This guy's schizophrenic, blah, 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 blah. And Billy Bob's like, can they make it into space? He's like, that's all I care. Doc, can it go into space?
Dude didn't answer that question.
He never
refused to answer that question. He's like, you don't even want to know my answer. Hell no, they can't go into space.
I love the line. He's like, 2 of these guys tested for tranquilizers. And Bruce Willis is like, and he's like, well, that's not so bad. And then the guy's like, they're horse sedatives. And he's like, well, some of these guys are pretty big.
Yes, man. And like at one point, Bruce is like walking around, and look, I don't know how young Liv Tyler and Ben Affleck are supposed to be. Why in the world are they making out in the exhaust of a rocket?
That has to be the most inconvenient place to like go have like a date. Look,
there's a bed somewhere.
Yeah,
there's a bed somewhere. There's a room somewhere in NASA. Yeah. Why are you in the exhaust of a rocket making out? Make it make sense, Mark. I want you to.
Because Michael Bay wanted it so. He wanted it so.
America, that's why.
But they're practicing drilling, and everything's getting hot, and they're getting like on edge. And I don't know about you, Nels, but Bruce Willis goes to Billy Bob Thornton, who's the head of NASA, and he's like, these guys are on edge. They got to know what they're fighting for. I want them to have... Now, keep in mind, Nels, there's a time limit, right? They have 18 days to get this mission off the ground. They're like 3 or 4 days away from launch. And Bruce Willis is like, I want to give them a day. I want a day where they can go and be with their families. And what did you want that, Colonel? And William Fichtner, who is he's like the pilot of the mission. By the way, I will never know William Fichtner from anything other than that banker in Dark Knight. Every time I see him,
his best acting job ever.
Your friends are dead. Like, he forever is.
Sorry, Popcorn, you couldn't see me, but I did the shotgun. I did the shotgun pump.
He's forever acting job that dude in Dark Knight, dog. This man is like class A acting with the big boys, and he's always going to be for me that guy in Dark Knight.
He's probably been in some of the most stellar movies of all time. He's probably played more significant roles in many movies, but to us, he is the guy who runs a bank in Gotham. And yes, he can handle a shotgun because he runs a bank in Gotham. Of course.
Oh man. So he's like, would you like to see your daughters, William Fichtner? He's like, yes, I would, Bruce Willis. And then Billy Bob is like, all right, then, fine. And Nels, I'm sorry, if I'm Billy Bob, I'm like, no, get back to work. The asteroid is here in 4 days. I was like, I'm sorry if you're stressed. Get the hell back in there and start drilling. Like, Because here's the thing. If you like, this is a national security risk. Y'all could leave and get hit by a bus, and then who's gonna go into space? No. The most I'll do in 1988, I'll go to Blockbuster, I'll get pizza, and I'll get some beer.
There
Hell
it is.
no, y'all aren't leaving.
There it is.
Hell no, you're not leaving this base. Are you kidding me?
This is what I'll do. I was like, all right, that entire hangar right there, I'm gonna fill it with a whole bunch of alcohol, a whole bunch of Pizza Hut pizza. This is 98, Mark. So Pizza Hut pizza.
Supreme.
Yes. Pizza Hut pizza, Tostino pizza rolls, a popcorn machine, and I'll get Michael Jackson to perform for you all. You all shut up. You have a fun night and get your butt back to work.
Yeah.
That's what I'll do. Because I'm the U.S. government.
At the most, because you're NASA, you're in Florida, we will go on a supervised trip to a strip club. At the absolute most.
At the most.
Absolute most.
And because it's a Michael Bay movie, we need to have a strip club scene. Because what is Michael Bay without strippers?
I'm like, are you kidding me, Bruce Willis? I'm sleeping in your room tonight watching you. You're not leaving. I'm like,
the fate of the planet.
Yeah, are you
rests
kidding?
On your ability to drill.
And so they let him go, and of course it's a disaster. Steve Buscemi and I think the big
Wilson.
dude Max, they get arrested at a strip club, and then there's the famous animal cracker scene that was parried everywhere with Liv Tyler and
Ben Affleck.
Yep. But so they knock around and oh man, we got arrested. But they get everyone back together and they're going into space. And it's not a big thing, Nels, but they're going to space, and everyone's in their astronaut's uniform, and everyone who's not in an astronaut uniform is decked out in sterile, where shoes are covered, they got gloves on.
I know where you're going with this. I know exactly where you're going with this.
And then Liv Tyler's just there, just there in a dress. And I'm like, look, man, I don't know nothing about NASA, but I'm pretty sure that's not allowed. I'm pretty sure you can't just be there.
So everyone is in sterile outfits.
Yo, decked out.
Liv Tyler
goggles,
is just
gloves.
gallivanting with no protection at all. Just gallivanting, saying bye, Dad. Bye, Ben. Why are you allowed in here?
I don't get it, man. I'm pretty sure.
You couldn't say bye 50 yards away from the rocket?
Yeah, you couldn't before they shoot up and go into the sterilized rocket. But so
white privilege. That's why. Her character's name is White Privilege, and it shows up throughout. Why is she allowed in all these rooms?
I know she's
privilege.
in a bunch of rooms. She doesn't need to be this whole movie
at all.
But they strap up and before this even happens, because the U.S. government, apparently we're the only ones who know about this comet right now, because we missed it, but the guy in the beginning that found the comet in the beginning is this old guy that finds the comet, and he hits his wife with the same energy that Sonny's sister's husband had in Godfather. He's like, get the
now clean it up.
Yeah. He's got the same energy as that guy. He finds it, and so it's like hush hush. The government's keeping it under the wraps. But before they launch, and we skipped the New York attack.
Oh my goodness!
Because the movie opens,
Eddie Griffin and
the UPN,
Mark Curry,
the UPN reunion.
Yes,
Eddie Griffin and Mark Curry. Because New York in the beginning is hit by all these asteroids, and that's how we learn about the larger one, because all the pre-asteroid shrapnel is hitting Earth and it's causing damage,
and no one talks about it. They're just oh yeah, that was small stuff. There's a bigger one coming, and Harry and all these other folks never mentioned that New York got hit by asteroids.
No one
talks about it.
Dog.
It's almost as if it wasn't in the movie, and Michael Bay is like, we need a little je ne sais quoi. How do you say explosions in a major metropolitan area? Dude, that's what will make this movie. Mwah.
There's an actual line where Billy Bob, he's like, Keith David's like, we need to know, will this happen again? What about New York? And Billy Bob Thornton, it says something along the lines of like, he's like, oh, those are nothing. They're the size of basketballs or station wagons. They don't matter. I'm like, yeah, well, it blew up Grand Central Station in the Chrysler Building. I think it matters a little bit.
just a smidget. Like at some point, and I'm skipping ahead a little bit. At some point, some third world country gets slammed by a thing, and no one talks about it. Like, the city gets destroyed.
It's Paris.
Paris. My bad. Paris.
It's Paris. Paris is blown off the face of the earth. And they're like, all right, back to NASA.
No one talks about it. No one mourns that this worldwide treasure is blown off the face of the earth.
But a couple of days before the launch, I don't think they say what city it is. I think it's Singapore. I don't know what city it is. But they're like another comic's headed to Southeast Asia, and it blows it all up. Whatever city it was, it blows it up. And then the U.S. government's like, okay, it's time to tell everybody. And I was thinking, man, in today's day and age, we have rough relations with China. Nails, could you imagine if we knew about a life-ending comet coming to Earth and we just said nothing, and then all these countries' cities are destroyed? Let's say the mission is successful. After that, everyone's going to war with the United States.
Facts.
Everyone's going to war with the United States after this is over.
They're like, it'll probably go something like, Harry and the oil drillers of whatever place you all are from, thank you for your service. You and your families are spared. Please leave the United States immediately. Everyone else, we coming for that ass. We coming for that ass. Yes.
Because then, let's just say it's Singapore. I don't know if it's Singapore, but let's just say it's Singapore. Singapore is blown off the face of the earth. And Billy Bob Thornton gets like a text that's like, uh-oh, everyone knows that.
Terrible. Michael Bay.
He gets a text like, womp womp, and not a secret anymore. And so then the president of the United States before the launch gives a speech to the Dust Bowl. And like, for some reason, whenever they show America in this movie, it is the Grapes of Wrath. It's the Dust Bowl. It's a Steinbeck novel. It like, I don't get it. Like, dog, they're listening. This is 1998, and people are like listening to a tube radio. And like farmer out there, come on in, son.
Look, 98 was 25 years ago. Maybe that's the case, Mark. Maybe I don't know. Maybe that's what 25 years ago was a while.
But yo,
I could be wrong.
In my line, anytime they cut to America in this movie, it looks like the Dust Bowl. Yes. It's like a bunch of kids next to a farm, or
look. Michael Bay is an equal opportunist stereotyper. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's an equal opportunist prejudice guy. Like, he's like, okay, America, Dust Bowl. Some random country in South Asia, mosque.
Mosque.
In East Asia, this is a little tiny market where they're grilling street food. Like, it's just stereotype.
We don't get a subtitle. It's like somewhere in the Southeast Asia. Like, like I don't have time to figure out the logistics of who these people are.
Who cares?
America's got an asteroid to destroy. You know, they launch. You know, they're in space, and here's where the nails. I want to say, after this launch, I just remember. I'm gonna move ahead a little bit, right? But I remember after watching this movie, feeling exhausted because after this launch, the movie holds you hostage, and you're not able to breathe until the end of this movie.
Bruh, it does not stop.
It doesn't stop for a second.
He turns it to 10 and lets it ride. You can't catch a breath, bruh.
I remember being genuinely tired.
The times they go away from the space stuff, it's showing the planet getting destroyed. Oh, it's showing a mutiny happening in NASA. Like there is no holds barred. It turns to the Hunt of Red October.
Yeah,
in the middle of NASA. Like, bro, it doesn't stop, bro. Oh my goodness.
And so,
oh man,
so they have this plan, right? And I don't know. I'm not a scientist, but I feel like it's a good plan. They're going to link with the Russian space station. They're going to refuel, and then they're going to pass the moon on one side as the comet is passing the other side, and then they're going to use their thrusters and slingshot around the moon and use the lunar gravity to catch up to the back of the comet. I don't know. Seems legit to me. I'm not a scientist. So they
sounds about right.
They get to the Russian space station that's run by Peter Stormare, and dog, he is just one big in Russia joke for the rest of this movie, dog.
1998.
1998. He is just one big in Russia spaceship flies you. Like,
I hate to admit that I loved it. I hate to admit it.
Oh,
I hate to admit it, but you know what? Sign me up.
He's great because he's a class act. You know, he's a good actor.
Here's the most Michael Bay thing about this movie is he turned them filling up gas at a station into a no holds barred, like escape a fire explosion scene.
Can we please talk about? Can we talk about the whole space station scene,
please?
So we're getting to the space station, and they're like, Billy Bob Thornton's like, Peter Stormare has been up there for like 18 months.
18 months.
He's kind of crazy. And Peter's like, he's like, hello, NASA, welcome to space station. Block, block, block. You know, he's just a Russian stereotype. But one thing I noticed on the rewatch, when they get there, he's like, okay, NASA, I got thrusters on. And when they link, I don't know if you remember, you noticed this, they link, and one of the pilots is like, okay, we got the rotation thrusters on or something, so it will simulate gravity, and it's going to make you guys feel sick. And I was like, wait a minute, because I never noticed as a kid, when they get to the space station, they're not floating. There's no float. You remember like Apollo 13, the whole movie, they're like floating?
Yeah.
Everyone's walking on their 2 feet for the rest of this movie in space, right?
Oh my God.
But they say the science, as I air quote, the science behind it is, I guess the Russian space station is spinning so quick that it simulates gravity. I'm like, I don't know if that's how it works. I'm not a scientist.
Bro, why didn't I question that? I didn't even question it.
As soon as they step on the space station, no one is floating. Like, no one ever floats in this movie. They are all walking on their 2 feet. There's not even Neil Armstrong like moon jump. It's walking.
It's walking. Yeah.
Everyone's walking.
No, there's gravity on the asteroid.
Yeah,
like,
it's just
at
gravity.
No point I just accepted it.
And I get it, dude. I get it, because Michael Bay wasn't gonna like make a movie where people are gonna. He's like, no, that's stupid. I'm Michael Bay. They're gonna walk.
Michael Bay's like, that's not American.
That's not.
And
American.
Look, I'm here to make some American stuff. That's not American. Walking like that? Who does that? Not in America.
And so, you know, they get on the space station. Peter Stormare's like, he's like, come on, Ben Affleck, you come down here. You know, look at fuel gauge, blah 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 blah. And everything goes to shit, and it starts blowing up. So everyone's running back to there's 2 space shuttles, right? Everyone's running back to their space shuttle, and I'm not gonna lie, this is like, it's really intense. It's this movie made me realize why I don't like submarine movies. It's because people can't do anything. They're falling down, and you know they gotta climb. And it's like just get up and run. You know, you're in space, you can't do that. They're running back, and they're like, "There's no time. Close the door." And NASA's like, turn on the location. They're like, basically turn on the thing from the Alien movie so we can see where everyone is on the space. I'm like, no, that's not how it works. You can't just see where everyone is.
And it just stopped working after that. After that, it was an irrelevant tool for the rest of the movie.
Because even the Russian has a dot. Even Peter Stormare has a dot. And everyone has a little green. I'm like, no, I'm pretty sure science doesn't work like that, where you just see the dots running on this space.
Michael Bay's science works like that. Michael Bay side, absolutely. And like at this, like when stuff goes crazy, at this point, this is like maybe the third time Ben Affleck is about to die. Ben Affleck's character is about to die.
Yes.
This man, he almost got shot with a shotgun. I mean, I don't know what was happening during training. Something could have happened during training. But the man got like a fireball passed by his head as he was trying to escape the little chute during the fuel scene. Like, this man should have died multiple times, man.
Death is coming for Ben Affleck in this movie, man. I don't know what he did. Maybe Death is in love with Liv Tyler or something, because Death is after Ben Affleck's spaceship is the one that blows up. It is coming for him this whole movie.
He pulled the straw to stay on that asteroid. Death is like, yo, I want you bad.
Yo,
you're supposed to be with me.
I would love if this movie was like a backdoor sequel to Final Destination. And like Toby Keith is just down there in the NASA room, like waiting for information.
He's like, oh, I'll get you. I'll get you
next time. So, quick thing. Apparently, Ben Affleck, this is his first really big blockbuster, and he wanted to do his own stunts this movie. And he had so many close calls in this movie that he never did his own stunts again.
Are you serious?
The fire thing, like that really happened, and it wasn't supposed to like catch him like that, but it blew past him. There were so many incidences where he could have got seriously hurt, and after that, he's like, the stunt team can do it. He's like, I'm not doing that stuff anymore.
All right, let me give y'all some advice for you aspiring actors out there in the pop cult universe. If you want to do your own stunts, that's fine. Hey, I support you. I love for there to be a new generation of Tom Cruises out here. But let me tell you something. For your first movie to do your own stunts, do not do a Michael Bay movie.
Do not do a Michael Bay movie.
Do not do it. You are playing all Madden with your first time on the sticks. Do not do a Michael Bay movie. Look, even if you are Tom Cruise, do not do your own stunts on a Michael Bay movie.
You were in the lion's den and you don't even know it.
Could you imagine Ben had no idea what he was getting into? He's like, how do people do this? I was like, bruh, I would never do my own stunts either. He is traumatized. I bet it's something as simple as like, Ben, you're just going to jump from this route to the other. He's like, all right, holler at Dylan. That's what Dylan gets paid for. I ain't doing it. You might have some random explosion come out. Yeah. You might be a helicopter flying for no apparent reason because you like helicopters. I'm not doing it.
I'm not.
Holler at Dylan. I'm not doing it.
Ben, we just need you to light this cigarette in the scene. All right, Dylan, man, Dylan.
It's just a little flame. No, I've heard little flame before. There was a fireball that shit past my head. Nope. Don't trust you. Don't trust them. And holler at Dylan.
And so, which I'm not gonna lie, the Russian space station blowing up was really intense. Like, I remember as a kid, I'm like, how are they gonna get out of there? And like we said, this movie doesn't give you a second to breathe, right? Because after they get out of there, they get out of there by the skin of their teeth, which is I'm not gonna lie, it's a cool scene. And I remember this being in the trailer where the two shuttles barely, like, they escaped the explosion. And so they're going and they're doing their. This is another part, Nails, where I ignored as a kid. They're like, all right, we're gonna whip around the moon. You guys get ready. It's gonna be, listen to me now. It's gonna be 9 Gs for 8 minutes as we whip around the moon. Go. So Nails, they start doing 9 Gs, right? And these guys are screaming.
They're talking.
They're talking. They're screaming like.
And they look normal. They just look like they're in pain.
Like, 9 Gs. 9 G. Dog. I don't think they had half of that in Maverick, and they're like,
Bro, I've seen like an actual person go through like G's. I remember what 6 G's looked like, and I was just like, oh no.
Yeah.
That looks horrible.
Yeah.
Terrible.
They're having full-on conversations with each other. Like, this is insane.
We're gonna die. I'm like, your lungs don't feel like they're collapsing right now? Just because
that would have been the
that's how you're supposed to look.
The quietest ride in human history. Like that's it. And they're screaming like they're passing kidney stones. They're like, ah, oh,
I bet Tom Cruise was just in the movie theater eating his popcorn like, I'm never making a Michael Bay movie.
And so
eating is like pitiful.
it really made me laugh because I don't know. I've never experienced G's, but I've been on the little Ferris wheel ride at the fair. Even that,
the little UFO space
UFO, and even that, you're like, ooh, whoa.
You can't
and they're
get
just
up.
talking to each other. Can't get up, can't move. They're like, Harry, this is crazy.
Yep. Yes, indeedy.
And so they're on the back of the they're at the tail end of the asteroid, which is named Dottie. So they're behind Dottie and they're flying through the space debris. And it's a lot more debris than they thought. So there's the two shuttles, the Freedom and the Independence. America. And the Independence gets wrecked. Like
demolished, bro.
Demolished. They start, rocks are flying in, and they're like, the pilots are like, get to your spacesuits, put your helmets on. And they're like, oh my God, this is it. You know, they get sucked out into space. Owen Wilson gets his like face smashed in by rocks. It's really
multiple pellets smashing his face, and he can't get his helmet on. So he's like struggling to get his helmet on, and all these rock pellets are flying in his face. What a horrible way to die!
You know what's funny?
Terrible way to die.
It's not funny, but fun fact: Ben Affleck filming this movie smashed open his helmet because there was a problem with the oxygen feed, and he wasn't getting oxygen.
So in real life, he almost died a few times.
In real life, he almost died. Death was coming. In real life. So in real life, the actor Ben Affleck. I'm no longer. Dylan, get in
the suit. Get in the suit, Dylan. Never going back to that death trap.
Dog, can you imagine that? Only a Michael Bay movie where you have to smash open your own prop suit to live, to breathe. But
I can't think of any other director where that's a thing. Michael Bay, absolutely. 16 weeks to film this? Absolutely. Man. He's like, what do we need oxygen for? Are we blowing something up? We don't need oxygen. Keep it moving. Let it ride.
So, the Independence is destroyed. They're like, the Independence is a dead stick. And to just bring it home to the audience, the bodies of like the pilots are hit the other shuttle. And then, Nels, I turn on my science brain. I'm like, they're going like 30,000 miles per hour. And then the bodies hit the shuttle. It's like, dunk. I'm like, nah. That'd be like throwing a jar of tomato, like a jar of like applesauce at a speeding semi truck. It would just be like a mosquito hitting the windshield.
Hey, science. Michael Bay science. All right.
Science.
I didn't ask no question. They also weren't like icicles because like they're in the vacuum of space. They're not frozen, like none of that. They're just bodies.
But the Independence, crashed. They think everyone's dead. Liv Tyler's sitting there listening. He's sitting there listening to all of this. Her fiance's on this thing, and they're just like, oh man, this is bad. And she's looking at her and like, oh my God, we're all gonna die. No one's like, you should get her out of here. Everyone's just letting her stay there.
So, Mark, I gotta ask, at what point in the movie were you like, oh, we're screwed? Like, if you were like an American living on this planet, at what point were you like, oh, this isn't gonna work? Like, we're all gonna die.
As soon as they reach the other side of the moon, and they're like, there's more debris than we were expecting. I'm like, that's it. That's it. Like,
bruh, the gas station, when they were struggling to fill in gas, I was like, oh, there's no way. We're done for.
We're done.
Like, there's no way. These folks, they can't fill in gas. Like, and I expect y'all to drill a moving asteroid? Nah, man, this is a wrap. So
And so the Freedom, but no one knows that there's survivors on Independence. There's Ben Affleck, there's Michael Clark Duncan, and then there's Peter Stormare, the Russian. He lived. He's like, oh, I'm here with you, blah blah blah. And I'm sorry, I'm just gonna do that all podcast.
I'm not surprised, dog. And they got out by shooting out from the space station, bruh. Why was there a machine gun on the Armadillo?
Well, I do love that they're like, this has to go, this has to go. Leave this Gatling gun on the front of this thing.
Why is there a gun on the Armadillo?
But, Nels, movies have, enough movies have told us, if you go into space, just be prepared to shoot at something. And I'm like, hey, I'm not mad. If you're going to leave something on the Armadillo, leave the Gatling gun.
You know what? Thanks, Mark. I need you to break that down for me. It makes sense now that I think about it. You don't know what's on the asteroid. You don't know if you might need to shoot something down. Touche. The
Independence crashes. The survivors are on there, but we don't know. But then Bruce Willis' ship Freedom lands, and this is when we find out that Steve Buscemi is a genius. He's like, Captain America shot us over 29 feet. And he landed, or 29 miles, and we landed on they were supposed to land on the soft side of the asteroid, but I guess they landed on the iron deposit.
And we're on a giant iron pallet, something like that.
Yeah. So wait. They start drilling, and after 10 feet, the drill bit gets chewed up. And I love the drill talk here. And Bruce was like, we all seen digged up drill bits, and they're like, and what's his name? The dude who's in everything, William Patton. He's like, not after 10 feet, Harry. they get like 10 feet, and then the drill.
Yo, does this man? Doesn't he become the assistant coach and Remember the Titans later?
Yes. He is the assistant coach.
Sweet Disney money. That's sweet Disney money.
Oh man, William Patton has a career just like being that dude in the movie. Like, he's not the lead, but he's just that dude. He has a great career.
Yes.
So they're drilling and they're like, oh man, this is rough and we don't know if we're going to do this, blah, blah, blah. So they're drilling. And Ben Affleck and Michael Clark Duncan and the Russian, they're trying to find the team. So we come back to NASA and they're like, NASA's like, we have a problem. Apparently, the asteroid is now spinning on 4 axes. So instead of just spinning one way, it's like spinning, I don't know, it's doing like a 720. I don't know. It's spinning in multiple directions, it's messing up their radio communication, right? And so I guess the astronauts didn't know, but makes sense. NASA and the government have a remote detonation for the nuke. Because,
makes sense.
If these guys screw up, then we'll remote detonate and whatever happens, happens. And so NASA, they're like, within 5 minutes, we won't be able to remote detonate. So Keith David's like, I have to call the president.
I have to call the president.
I have to call the president. And so the president is like, no, I saw the montage. They're idiots. Blow it up.
Blow it up. That was the quickest conversation Keith David has ever had with the president ever. He's like, President, no. Go ahead and blow that up.
Blow it up.
What I do trust is the power of an American nuclear warhead. I'll put my money on that every time. Blow that sucker up.
Two of these guys are on horse tranquilizers. Blow it up, Keith David.
No concern at all. Yes, blow it up.
And so Keith David is like, all right. He's like, all right, Billy Bob, we have to blow it up. Billy Bob's like, he's like, you should do it. You effing know it. He's just like, you got to believe in them. That's Bruce Willis up there, Keith David. You got to believe in them. Look at America. And Keith David's like, well, the president told me to blow it up and they're idiots. So I'm going to blow it up. And it's funny. You say we come back to NASA. It's this whole thing of like, now NASA's like hacking the government satellite. I don't know. They're hacking something. Or getting like a radio signal to, I don't know what they're doing, but they're trying to like block Keith David for setting off the nuke or whatever. So,
dog, and in the back, Liv Tyler, who should not be there, is screaming, "My dad's up there!" Yo, shut up. Why are you here?
So, listen, my father's up there. You can't do that. My father's up. Everyone's like, get her the hell out.
Get her the hell out of here.
Get her out of here. And so, Keith David starts the detonation. And so I love this part. I love this part of the movie. William Fichtner is he's like, oh crap. The second protocol has started. We got to get this bomb out of here and get the hell out of here because we're going to blow up. And Bruce Willis is like, nah, man. He's like, we're going to drill. We got 800 feet to drill. Dang it. I never missed the mark. Blah, blah, blah. They start fighting with each other. And so I love, who is it? Will Patton. He's like, Harry, the countdown on the 9-foot nuclear warhead. Just
very calm.
Just very calm.
Very subtle.
He said, hey guys, I just want to let you know that the 9-foot nuclear warhead is armed.
You can tell he deals with this all the time. Something crazy's happening, and Bruce Willis is not focused on the thing ahead. He's like, not. But I know this thing is gonna explode. Can we talk about this for a second?
Yeah. Oh yeah. So William Fichtner and Bruce Willis are fighting. They're fighting over the because William Fichtner's like, no, we got to just ditch this bomb and get out of here. Bruce Willis is like, no, we got to dig. Call NASA, tell them to stop. And then William Fichtner pulls out a gun.
Best part of the movie, yo.
The best part of the movie. He pulls out a gun and points it at Bruce Willis, and Will Patton's like, what are you doing with a gun in space?
And doing a gun is the most believable line in this movie. You brought a gun to space.
But yo, Nels, you know what's funny? As a kid, I was like, yeah, what are you doing with a gun in space? But now, look, if I was going into space, I'm not saying a gun would be my top 3 requested items, but it's definitely coming to my carry-on. I'm definitely bringing a gun. If I'm going to space, I'm bringing a gun. I don't know why I need a gun.
I've seen enough. Yeah. And I know enough. I need something.
I've seen enough movies to know that a gun will come in handy in space somehow.
Because 2 things are going to happen. Someone's going to betray us or we're going to meet somebody.
Yeah, we're going to meet something.
We're going to meet somebody. I'm not saying who or what, but we're going to meet somebody. Either way, I would prefer to have a gun on me.
Yes. So now that I'm older, I'm like, yeah, a gun in space makes perfect sense. But
back then it didn't. But yes,
back then
now
it didn't.
It kind of does. I get it. Touché.
So they're having this standoff, and this is what I'm talking about. The movie does not give you a break. They're having this standoff. The clock's going down, and Bruce Willis is choking William Fichtner with the wrench that was used to make the Iron Giant. And he's choking him with this big ass wrench.
This giant wrench. Where did it come from? Oh my God.
He's just choking him. He's like, I'll hit the mark. He's like, you better hit that mark, Bruce Willis. So William Fichtner starts stopping the timer on the bomb.
Yeah, wire cutting.
The wire cutting. We come to the classic blue, red, And so he stops the bomb. And whew. The movie's like, you get to breathe, America. Yeah, or we get to breathe. All right, now let's go do what we came to do. And then they start drilling, and then the armadillo blows up.
Yeah, gas. And Max goes flying. The armadillo just gets like a freaking rocket, just flying away from the asteroid.
Even before Max hits the air pocket and goes flying, Steve Buscemi starts going crazy and shooting the Gatling gun.
Space dementia.
Yo, you've always said, put space in front of something and it makes it better. And
I'm telling you, man.
And me and my brother, we talk about this one scene all the time. I know it's called space dementia, but we call it space madness. Because basically, Steve Buscemi becomes Ren from that Ren and Stimpy space episode.
Space madness.
And he gets space madness and he just starts shooting his gun everywhere.
Good job, Jones Brothers. Yes. That's exactly what happened. That's exactly what happened.
Shooting this Gatling gun everywhere, and they're like, "Oh, get Steve Buscemi, he's crazy." And then while they're doing that, they hit the air pocket, and Max, who's one of the crew members in Armadillo, he gets blown into space and he dies. So now they have no Armadillo. You know, they only got like, I don't know, 150 feet, whatever. And they're just like,
and you quickly go back to Liv Tyler crying. And then back to the asteroid.
And keep David like, I told you, stupid sons of man.
Hey, can we go back to Keith David real quick? He handled the traitor, like them being traitors, very well and very patient. It makes me wonder, this is a black man who is a general. He probably has dealt with this many a times.
Bruh.
Many a time.
I've never been in this situation, and I hope I never am in this situation. I feel like, realistically, if Billy Bob Thornton did what he did, he would have been shot in the head in that room right then and there. Like, you were messing with national security.
He's relieved of duty permanently.
You were permanently relieved of duty. Like, you're lucky if you get out of this without being shot in the head, right? You know, America. So Max dies.
White privilege saved them.
There's no more armadillos. They didn't hit the mark, and all hope is lost. But then they just hear in the radio, Harry. Oh, it's Ben Affleck and the boys. They made it. The Independence made it.
26 miles on a random asteroid with jagged rocks, no clear road. Bruh, we forgot how they had to do a cannon jump.
Yes.
Armadillo.
Yes.
Bruh, they were flying in space. The Russian dude had to climb out of the Armadillo, rake the engine that was like completely frosted over, hit the thrusters, fly the Armadillo back to the asteroid while the Russian was holding on with the metal cord, flapping all over the place. And then they finally land and continue to drive on. Like, what? That was in an in-between scene while all this other stuff was happening.
And I will give Michael Bay this. A scene that, like, I don't know if it's because I'm a parent now, that really hits me is when the Armadillo, like, you know, is destroyed, and Harry, Bruce Willis, you know, he's like, NASA, prepare the world for the bad news. And then it cuts and it just shows all, like, over America, and everyone's, the streets are empty. It's in the ground. There's I think they're in, like, Ireland, and there's a preacher with this congregation just, like, walking out. And there's one where there's a dad with his son. His son has binoculars looking at the sky, and the dad's just like, and I was just like, man, like, could you imagine just, this is it. The government has told you the world is going to end within, like, the next, like, 3 hours. It's like, what do you do?
Maybe
what do you do?
In the real world, I would be sad. But in a Michael Bay world, I'm like, nah, he's just setting this up. He's just setting this up. Something's going to happen.
Setting us up.
Optimus is going to come flying around the corner and save us. So, yeah.
But, you know, he's like, NASA, we failed. And then, you know, we hear Ben Affleck and the boys, we're here, Harry. He's like, and I'm not gonna lie, man, it's a good scene where, because there's this running joke where Ben Affleck and Bruce Willis are like, I just want to hear 5 words from you. It's like, you know, and they kind of go over the number, they go under the number, it's whatever. But Ben Affleck shows up, he's like, I got 5 words for you, boy. He's like, damn, I was gonna take, come on, man. You know, he's like mad hype, like, let's get this reel going. So they're like, yeah, let's do it. And I'm not gonna lie, it's a good feel-good moment. If you're watching this movie, you're like,
yeah, I got hype.
They start drilling again, and it gets to the part where it's like, oh, this is how Max died. no, take it out. And Ben Affleck, he's like, Harry, I'm a savant when it comes to drilling. You know this, Harry. I'm Harry Potter of drilling. He's like, I can do this. I'm the boy who lived, Harry.
I'm the greatest of all time.
I'm the greatest of all time.
No one knows drilling better than me. Yes, this is literally what happened about 15 minutes earlier that killed Max and the last chance we had in the armadillo. But for some reason, I am the GOAT. And I can just press a button that has the drill go down better than anyone else.
And everyone's like, Harry, it's not gonna work. And Harry's like, make the call, AJ. He's like, come on, 750, 7. And I'm not gonna lie, man. It had an effect on me. I'm like, come on, 770, 780. I'm like, get to 800, and they do it. They get to 800, right?
802 to be precise. Yes.
Yeah. They go past the number. And Michael Clark Duncan, he's like, come on there, boy, So they get to the limit, and now it's time to put the bomb in there. But because they had their lethal weapon fight.
Because of plot device.
Because of plot device, they had the lethal weapon fight in the spaceship. They did something to the detonation. And now someone has to stay behind and blow this thing up by remote detonation. Okay. Okay, fine. So they draw straws. And what I love, William Fichtner, on the quickness, he's like, well, it takes 2 people to fly this.
He's like, let me just set it straight. I'm leaving.
I'm going
and
home.
She's leaving.
And she's coming with me because it takes 2 people to fly this spaceship.
I really don't need any of y'all. Y'all did what you're supposed to do. But y'all can come with us. But one of y'all got to stay here.
Yeah.
I love it.
Like, so
do they really need 2 people? Who knows?
Yeah. No,
but he made sure he's like, hey, I'm leaving. And she's leaving.
It was a classic. Like, he's like, it takes 2 of us to fly this thing. And she looked at him and he was just like, he just nodded.
It takes 2 of us.
2 of us, right? And she's like, yeah, 2. It was like, it's like one of those situations where like men were getting on the boat, the lifeboats in the Titanic, even though they're like women and children first.
Yes. This is my child. I'm all she's got. I'm all she's got. Baby, like, I don't know you. Oh my God. Yes, man.
Lower it down. So they draw straws, which is also intense. It's like, you know what's funny? They got like 15 minutes to make all this come together, and they're like, all right, let's stick around. We'll draw straws. And even the drawing straws in a Michael Bay movie isn't.
I mean, because it's Michael Bay. Draw straws. Camera zooms in. Each finger that pulls out, straw, zoom out. And then zoom into the straw. Zoom out to the face. Zoom into the next hand. Zoom out from the hand. Like, it's over and over again. And yeah, Coco.
Oh, man. So AJ gets the short straw. AJ being
Mark,
Ben Affleck.
Mark, can we just... How bad do you think Michael Bay wanted Michael Clark Duncan to get the short straw?
I mean, it was 1998, but I'm surprised the only brother that Michael Clark Duncan made it. And as a kid,
that was a studio decision.
Yeah.
I do not believe that was a Michael Bay decision. Disney was like, no, Owen Wilson's gonna die.
Yeah,
you can't have Bear die with rock pellets coming to his face. You got to get that to Owen Wilson. And Michael Bay's like, fine, okay, whatever. But like, I will say this, I know we got to get towards the end of the movie, but I'll just say, I wonder if they would have batted an eye if Michael Clark Duncan got the short straw. Because like this became a thing when do you think Bruce Willis would have took out Michael Clark Duncan's air supply and kicked him back in?
Or
would have just done that for AJ?
The character, I think the character definitely. I don't think Harry the character was going to let anyone. It didn't matter who it was. I don't think the character Harry was going to let anyone blow up that bomb but him. That's my read.
You said Bruce Willis. Yeah, of course, Bruce Willis. Bruce Willis ain't dying for none of that.
But
Bruce was like, I'm Bruce Willis.
Oh, man. I'm Bruce Willis. I
made Die Hard.
I made Die Hard. But But yeah, that's my read. I don't think the character Harry's gonna let anyone die. This is his crew. It's his team, man. He can't let them. You go down with the ship. You know what I'm saying? And this whole time that all this is going on, Steve Buscemi has been duct taped to to a chair
because
he has space madness, and that's what you do when people have space madness. You duct tape
them to a chair. Yep, very logical. Makes sense.
So they draw the straws, and Ben Affleck draws the short straw. It's all sad, and Bruce Willis is like, I'll walk him down. So they walk him down, and AJ's like, tell Liv Tyler that I love her. And I forgot what he says, but Bruce Willis is like, tell her yourself. And he unhooks his oxygen, pushes him back, rips off his space patch, and gives it to Ben Affleck. Give this to Billy Bob Thornton, closes the hatch. And Nels, I'm not going to lie, man. I've seen this movie maybe 8 times. Every time,
Mark.
Every time
gets a tear out of me.
Ben Affleck's like, I love you, Harry. No, Harry. In the same
He's like,
thing,
I love you like a son.
I love you like a son. He's like, now you take care of my daughter. Oh, man. He's like, I love you, Harry. And the same thing, the same energy was brought in Guardians of the Galaxy 2. Chris Pratt and like, dude, I don't know what it is. It's like these guys crying to their father figures. I mean, take that to my therapist. I don't know. I don't know what that says about me. But
nah, bro, it got me. It got me I don't know how many times I've seen Armageddon or just this scene in particular, but bruh, still got me. Yes. I was like, oh, his dad, this is his daddy.
Harry, I love you. I love you, Harry. No.
He's like, I love you too. You take care of my daughter.
And then
the speech, the unwarranted speech he makes to Liv Tyler. How does Liv Tyler have all that access to NASA's technology? They just leave her in the room.
Well, I love even before they get to the speech, he sends Ben Affleck up in the airlock, and Ben Affleck gets back to the spaceship, and Will Patton's there, and he's like, crazy son of a bitch, because he knows Bruce Willis.
Yep.
So they
with the same monotone emotion. Yeah. This man kept it tight and precise the entire movie.
The whole movie, dog. One tone. I love it. But yeah, so Bruce Willis, he gets into the armadillo and he's talking to Liv Tyler, and he's like, baby girl, I told you I was gonna come home, but I can't keep that promise. And she's like, oh. She starts calling him Daddy. She starts calling him Harry. She's like, Daddy, I said I didn't want to be like you, but I want to be just like you. And I'm just like, oh, God, Michael Bay. Like,
got your ass. Yes.
Man. I want to call it an iconic scene. And I think it's well directed. When she's talking to Bruce Willis and she puts her hand on the screen and it turns to static. I was like, that is a beautiful shot. That is a beautiful shot.
To this day. Yeah. To this day. Yes.
Like, Michael Bay did a great job. That is a beautiful shot.
That is one of the most iconic Michael Bay scenes ever. He's got a few. He's got a few now, but that is one of the most historic ones he has.
So,
absolutely.
And again, this movie, you're like, all right, let me catch my breath. And the movie snatches you up by you shut up. You ain't catching no breath. Because you think you're like, okay, well, he's going to stay behind. They're going to get out of there. And then
it's like, they ain't home yet.
They ain't home yet. And the movie's like, shut up. They ain't home yet. The spaceship won't start. It won't start. It just won't. It's just like, dog. They literally turned the ignition key on this spaceship, and it's like the time machine with Michael J. Fox. Like,
yes, man.
It's the same joke. It's literally the same joke. It's like, and then Peter Samir, he gets his Russian wrench. He's like, in Russia, we hit spaceship with wrench so we can go home, and he just starts whacking the shit out of this delicate engine equipment, and then the space.
This is NASA technology, Mark. This is rocket science.
But I'm not gonna lie, Nils. I put myself in this man's shoes. I've been on the space station by myself for 18 months. You guys come to the space station. I barely escaped it. Then I'm on a space shuttle that's disintegrated by asteroids. I jump over basically the Grand Canyon.
Yes. All this is true.
I help you drill a hole in the ground, and then I pick straws to stay and blow this asteroid up. I'm going home.
This man did not sign up for this, yo. Yo, I feel so bad for the Russian dude right now. He didn't sign up for none of this. He was like, yo, he was up there for 18 months. He was almost done. I don't know how long his shift was, but he was almost done.
It's like
don't tell me you weren't going to be up there for like 18 more months.
No,
he was almost done.
It's 18 months and he has like a 24-month shift. He was like almost there.
He was almost done. And all this stuff happens between now and then.
Dang, I get it. I get it. At that point, no, I'm going home. We're going home. So he hits the space shuttle and everything comes on. He's like, good in Russia. Do we go home? And so they get out of there. You're like, oh, good. Okay, the movie's over.
Nope.
Cut to Bruce Willis on the surface of this asteroid, and he's got the detonator, and you're like, all he literally has to do is push a button. But no, the asteroid.
Not in a Michael Bay world.
This asteroid that's literally a character in this movie. It's like a monster in this movie. It's like, no, Bruce Willis, you can't. It just starts growling and exploding.
Like it's literally a monster fight scene.
It's literally a monster fight
Bruce
scene.
versus the asteroid.
He like drops the detonator. He's like, oh no. Keep in mind, we got like 20 minutes to blow this thing up before it's too late. And he's like, oh, I can't get it. Oh, I'm dropping down. And the space shuttle's looking, they're like, come on, Bruce Willis, come on. Like, blow it up. To William Fichtner's credit, he's like, if he doesn't do it, we're going to turn around and do it ourselves. So he was willing to crash the shuttle into the, I was like, hey, man.
Bro, he almost did it too.
Yeah.
He almost did it. Like the entire crew had to tell him, nah, he got it. Don't worry, he got it.
And so Bruce Willis finally gets the detonator and he's like, I love you, Liv Tyler. And has a flash, like his life flashes before his eyes, all this like, moments of Liv Tyler growing up. And it blows up. He did it. They did it. The team did it.
Bruh. And of course they come back. They're all heroes. Liv Tyler again. Everybody is dressed in some like heavy duty. Like we don't know if these folks have radioactive asteroid poison on them. Rock.
No one should touch these people. Everyone's in like
at least for 24 hours.
Yeah, everyone's in all this gear. There's fire trucks, and Liv Tyler's just like running out there with her dress,
just running. She's like, I don't care, just running.
Ben Affleck could have space COVID for all you know.
Easily could. At least a death wish. Something's going on with him. And then the movie just ends with a wedding. Now, Mark,
can I say something?
Okay. Yes. And then I want to talk about the wedding because I have some hot takes.
Before we get to the wedding. So they land and I do love the line Will Patton, he's like, look, the asteroid's dead. It would really suck to die right now. He's like, we won. It would really suck if we didn't land this thing. So, like, please land this thing. So they land it. Everyone's there, and they're like, "Oh, way to go, America, America!" And then Nels, I don't know if you noticed, but the Thunderbird aerial showcase, like the Thunderbirds, the Air Force's, air show showcase. Yeah. They do a flyover, right? That's all I'm thinking, man. I've been to air shows. I'm like, so does NASA have the Thunderbirds on standby in case the world doesn't blow? Like, I'm like, so these Thunderbird pilots are just waiting to celebrate if this thing goes well?
Let me make sure I have the mic set up.
If
Mark,
I'm a Thunderbird
the answer
pilot,
no, Mark. The answer is Michael Bay.
Michael Bay.
There are several helicopters flying throughout this movie for no apparent reason.
They're just flying, dog.
Just flying. Michael Bay is the answer.
You know what that means, dog? That's essentially being like a Harlem Globetrotter, and they're like, "Hey, if this asteroid doesn't hit the Earth, then we want you to play a basketball game." So what? I'm gonna be on standby. I'm the Thunderbird pilot on standby before the world's destroyed.
In
Hell
Michael
no.
Bay's world, you're damn right. That's what your job is. You better sit there and wait.
Yo, I just, man, it just makes me laugh. It looked great, but it just, the Michael Bay logic in this movie is just so funny to me. It's funny to me.
Let's talk about this wedding. So the wedding, it was adorable. They had pictures of the astronauts who passed away, including Harry.
Yeah.
And like folks were celebrating. It was lovey-dovey. That's not really what I want to talk about. Mark, they're like in their early 20s, right? Mm-hmm. Like, you know, they're probably not even 25. Like they're young, right?
Yeah.
When do you think they got a divorce?
Yo.
Do you even think? Do you like? Did the marriage even last a year? Like, did it get annulled?
Dude, like, there's children involved because the guilt of Harry's death made them try to work it out. Mm-hmm. I'm giving it a 6 years marriage, 2 children.
Okay, that's a lot more than I gave them. I was like, y'all lasted 2 months.
Yeah.
Ben Affleck is a world hero. He is a world hero. He is the youngest and the best looking out of everyone else who came back on the planet. And he is not even 25 yet.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
They lasted.
I didn't even think about that.
I did. Wilson passed away. It's just him. And he is a world hero.
He's the youngest.
That marriage didn't last till the fall, bruh.
He's the youngest famous person on the planet. But you know who came out this smelling like roses? Papa Bear. Big Bear came out of this the champ. Because I'm telling you, that man got into movies. He was on Oprah. He was on Montel Williams. Bear is in the press boxes at the Super Bowl. Michael Clark Duncan posts this movie. His character is living that life.
Yo,
he's living that
life. Got keys to a couple cities.
Keys to a couple cities. At the Source Awards. He's in music videos.
He's doing Gatorade commercials.
Yes. Yes.
He's doing Gatorade commercials. Yes. That's
he's living a good life after this.
Great life. I want to be like him. He might have his own signature Nike shoe. Mess around.
Guaranteed. Easily got his own shoe. The Bear.
Get
the Bear by Reebok. Get you some Bears by Reebok.
Oh man. So yeah, I don't think they made it, bro. I say all that said. I don't think they made it. And like Harry's last wish, like, take care of my dog. I'm like, you telling this 20-something young man who probably ain't really been around other women because he's been living a life on an oil rig, and one woman that's there, of course he's gonna fall in love with her. He's gonna stay in love with her. Come on, bruh. This man is a world hero.
And it's not that I don't think it could work. I don't think Ben Affleck's character in this movie is gonna make it work. Like, no diss to Liv Tyler, but he's getting it from all
world.
Places. The world.
There are billions of people on the world. And he's in his early 20s. You all may not remember your early 20s, but just think back and think about your maturity level.
Best case scenario, they get a divorce, they reconnect in their mid-30s. That's the best case scenario.
Okay. And he's had to do a lot of grind. He had to get everything out of his system.
Yeah.
And they come back for the kids. They come back for the kids. Cool. I'm with it.
Oh,
hopefully she don't end up with Drake at some point.
Okay. But that's essentially the end of the movie, man. Yeah,
man. Mark, what are your big takeaways from 1998 Armageddon and Michael Bay's third movie?
Man, this movie has been ripped to shreds by everyone, but it still hits. It still hits all the markers. It's definitely like definitely every like 10 years or 5 years rewatch it. You know what I mean? But it hits. Michael Bay, I'm telling you, man, I think this guy, when it comes to kinetic filmmaking, he is a genius. He knows how to make a blockbuster. Now,
Yes,
take that as you will. He knows how to make a blockbuster. He knows how to make a movie that audiences will connect with and will enjoy. Critics will rip it to shreds, but the general public will have a great time watching it. And take that. I don't know if that's a value to society or film or culture, but that man knows how to tap into the pulse of the American public.
Yeah, Mark, I couldn't say it any better. Like, if you were to ask me, like, is this a good movie? Like, I would say, no, it's not a good movie, but by golly, it's great. You know what I'm saying? Does that make any sense?
It's a fun movie. It's a fun movie.
Yeah, like, this is not a good movie, but I loved it.
yeah.
I still love it after all these years. Like, it doesn't make any sense, but it makes complete sense. You know why?
Yeah.
Michael Bay. That's all you need.
He's a national treasure. I mean, and you know, it's funny. This movie's almost 3 hours long, and he did that. See, now it's like, oh, you get a 3-hour movie, whatever, it's the norm. They weren't making 3-hour long movies in 1998. Nope, your movie had to be like 90 minutes or like just hitting 2 hours. Like that was the standard. But Disney was like, nope, you need. He's like, I need almost 3 hours to tell the story. All right, Michael Bay, just get it done in 16 weeks.
You're gonna make more money than Deep Impact. Michael Bay's like, yes. They're like, do whatever you want.
They weren't even asking that. They're just like, we'll be done in 16 weeks. He's like, yeah. All right, make it 3 hours. I don't care.
Well, Mark, anything else?
No, man, I enjoy it, man. I enjoy Michael Bay as a director. I completely understand the criticism. Like, it makes perfect sense to me. Whenever people criticize Michael Bay, I'm not like, no, you're wrong. You're the idiot. Like, no, that makes perfect sense. But I've seen every film this guy's made. I own maybe most of them. Yeah.
Good Lord Almighty.
Well, here's the thing about Michael Bay. It's like all the things that make a movie good, he really knows how to make those things good. And what I mean by that is like camera angles, just like tone, color correction, sound design. Like, he just knows how to make those things look good and pop. I mean, who was a big, like, you give this movie to Roland Emmerich, it's not the same movie. I think it's a forgettable movie, you know?
You give this movie to James Cameron, we would have already started talking to aliens, because he would really be up there.
But it's a completely different movie. It's a completely different movie. Like, this movie is like, yeah, let's go America. But if James Cameron makes this movie is like, oh my God, life is precious. You know, like, it's like, it's going to hit you with a message.
Like, what about the mini mice people on the asteroid? Their civilizations are dying because of how we are treating the oceans on the planet.
Life is important.
Oh,
but
my God.
nah, man, I feel like I come back to this movie every 5 years, and I always enjoy it.
Yeah, man.
Always enjoy
it. I hear you. Well, thank you, Michael Bay. And thank you, Pop Cult. Thank you for listening. We have a new episode every month. You can find us on all social media at Pop Cult Parent, POPCULTPARENT. You can visit us at www.popcultparent.com. Email us at popcultparent@gmail.com. Don't forget to rate us, review, and subscribe. And as always, join the cult. Peace.